This is the top 32 bracket, and it's going to be Kirlis versus Nostred. So Kirlis playing Lion, Nostred on Scorpion. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deck list that we got here. So this is Kirlis' deck list for this top 32 bracket. He is on Keeper of Air, and so a whole bunch of stuff here, normal stuff, City of the Rich Frog, etc. This looks to be an honor running deck. It's got the Bushido Adherent, the Chronicler Conquest, the Message Runners, etc. Looks like to be kind of swarmy, and looking on grinding those honor tokens and getting them out there as fast as possible. For the splash, he's running Crane Splash. This is a very Kirlis deck, right? It's 44 cards in the Dynasty and 41 cards in the Conflict deck. So Crane Splash here, Festival of the Fortune, is looking to sort of combo out by honoring a bunch of dudes at once and having them all leave play. This deck was a lot better when it had those who serve, but that's no longer a thing anymore. So meanwhile, on the Nostred side, this is a pretty standard Scorpion deck. So this is what Scorpion has turned to after the City of the Open Hand RL. It turns out they're still running City of the Open Hand, so it's just that, but a little bit less effective. More Censures here, and the rest of it is sort of standard Phoenix Splash package with the Display of Powers, the Secret of Knowledges, a bunch of new cards here that Scorpion can use. He's got the Venerable Fortunist. That's a pretty good card because you can use it with Display of Power to get Fate back. Also, these new cards here, Imbued with Shadows. Pretty solid card, just random honor dump and status token remover. Also, he's got the 3x Assassination thanks to the Honorata of City of the Open Hand. Also, Suffer the Consequences, new card here, allows Scorpion to get an extra political conflict, which is very good. So I'll let the players know they can start whenever. And yeah, at some point in time I might have to mute my mic to take a call for work, but for the time being, we're just chilling and hanging out. So waiting for them to start. Looks like Kirlis is doing a deck check right now. I want a link for the Greek community to the stream, I guess, sure. So all the Greeks come on in, pile in, so you guys can come watch the Kirlisarmy takeover. So it's always fun watching Kirlis games because he always has like the wildest decks, right? Like they're all very insane and very very different from what most people play. And I think that's what really gives him a lot of mileage, is that he thinks outside the box, and yeah. Typing instead of copy pasting. I don't have a link ready to copy paste here. I don't think there's anything on the dashboard. So we'll enlarge this. GL, HF coming out. I don't think, yeah, this is fine here. We'll do it like this. Thank you for following, Katachan Ninja. Probably saying that wrong. Alright, so flops are out for both players. On the Scorpion side, it looks like we have Nostred on one Liar. He has 2 storehouses, which is pretty huge, and also a Master Whisperer you can buy if he so chooses. For these honor running decks, it's actually very difficult for Scorpion to actually dishonor you, and one of the things that happens is you sort of get choked out on cards. So one thing that Nostred might want to consider is getting as much card draw or pseudo card draw as possible. So this Master Whisperer looting effect is very useful in this matchup. Kirlis, on the other hand, is a pretty solid start. He's got a no, it's a Staging Ground, okay. Staging Ground, but then also 2 Akoma Prodigies is going to put him up to 15 honor to start with. You're probably not going to honor out against Scorpion, and so one of the things that you want to look to do is just, sustain your honor so that you can continue to do your thing, prevent them from drawing cards, and break their provinces. Nostred passes here. I guess that's fine. For those of you in the chat who are joining me, I think my emote got approved. Let me try to use it now. Nope. I don't know how to do it. Let me see if I can figure it out. I don't know if I have to put it in this other code or not. Save you the open hand here. Don't forget to manual it, I think. It is not coded yet. Oh no, it is, I guess. Maybe it looks like it worked there. Christian saying, not a fan of City of the Rich Frog honor running decks. I'm not a fan either, right? Because it sort of gives you your opponent this free province to farm. I do think it's good for this particular variant of the honor deck because of the fact that it's looking to get the wider board and combo out with the Festival of Fortunes. Yeah, it does have this stupid, obnoxious code. I need to look into how to change this, but if you guys subscribe, you get access to this emote here. It has a really obnoxious code. I will figure out a way to alter it though, so that way it's shorter and less annoying to type out. Alright, so we have 5 bits to open, and that actually sets up a Regal Bearing here for Kirlis. One good thing about Scorpion now is that they don't have a turn 1 cancel available to them unless they do some shenanigans with the Fawning Diplomat. So the Regal Bearing here is actually going to draw Kirlis 4 cards, giving them a pretty, moderate card advantage for the time being, although Nostred represents 3 more cards to be drawn on board as is. Those of you in the chat, it appears that we did get some new fiction today. Just came out. It looks to be about Ishikawa. So once you guys are done here, you can go tune in to that. Yeah, Nostred, with this conflict actually choosing to scout and go for the fertile fields. Maybe not the best idea because you know that all these other provinces can potentially provide Kirlis with some benefit. In playing this kind of deck, you might as well just go ahead and go for the Rich Frog. It's blank. You know you're not going to break here with just the Liar and the Prodigy unless you go ahead and assassinate this one here. And so we see a Sharpen the Mind come out on the Prodigy. Kirlis, I don't think, is running any cancels, and this is going to be a lost conflict here for Nostred. Choosing, for whatever reason, to only use one of the storehouses instead of 2 storehouses. I don't know if he wants to maintain this province strength for Toshirambo or what the deal is exactly. Kirlis is going to go water here to get this Prodigy restood. If the Prodigy attacks in on military, it's obviously not going to have any skill, but maybe Kirlis has some kind of pump for it. So we see no defense and a pass here. So Kirlisarmy's probably not going to be able to break here unless he has some other kind of sharpen the mind or a fan or something like that. I don't think he has that. Okay, so it looks like I cannot update my Twitch emote prefix. Yeah, so we see a double regal on turn 1, which is pretty sick. Doesn't happen too often, but definitely pretty solid. So Goblin Sneak's gonna come at home now for a counterattack. Kirlisarmy's definitely going all in on this one Prodigy here, but he's gonna get the break on the Toshi Rambo. Tries to ready it, Earth becomes Sky, keeps that one bowed. That's gonna allow Nostred to go ahead and attack in. Kirlisarmy's sitting on no fate now, so this is a free attack. Gonna go Void here. Probably just Void off this Prodigy here. So yeah, so unfortunately, the more I look into this, it looks like I can only change my my prefix tags, or I can't change my prefix tags yet. And I can't change my emote name until I become partner, which probably is not going to happen over the course of L5R lifespan. But if you do subscribe, you get this thing. Alright, so Void Ring goes off here. Yeah, getting rid of this big Prodigy. It's going to put Kirlisarmy down to 13 honor. Yeah, I think neither the honor nor dishonor win conditions are super realistic in this matchup. It is very possible for both to happen, but also not that likely. So Nostred going to draw cards here. He discards the Master Whisperer, which I think it might be a mistake, but... Now we're going to see Kirlisarmy flip over a bunch of spicy stuff here. So the Honor General, pretty good. You can use it with Zentaro. He's going to be first player, so you can attack first with the Honor General and restand with the Zentaro with Disguised. But he opts to buy Ujiaki instead because he has the favor, and so that's just sort of like a rare moment of favor for this deck. Ujiaki obviously going to allow Nostred to go ahead and, Kirlisarmy to break at least one province. There's pretty much no way that Nostred can stop that. And so I think if I'm Kirlisarmy, I go ahead and attack Void here, so I keep Ujiaki safe. That way I'm guaranteed to have him from next turn as well. So with the Ujiaki, you can bring in the 2 Honor Generals. That's like 1,000,000 military strength. And then use the Zentaro to restand, so you have more force for your second political attack. Or alternatively, you can... Oh no, that's probably a bad idea. So let's not worry about that. Is he running Effective Deception? Yes, that he is, actually. So that could be something he runs into on the row here, which would kind of foil his plans to use Ujiaki. One fate, Ujiaki feels bad, so easy to get killed by DOP. Yeah, that's also a possibility. We see 13 cards in hand for Nostred. So one of the 3 DOPs very likely to be in the top half of his deck. Alright, so we see Secret Cache hit here. And so I think if he hasn't found a DOP by now, I think he's almost certainly going to have one by the time he's done with the Secret Cache. Attacking fire here. Fire is pretty good. So attacking right now representing 4 skill, 5 skill with the favor, and also 8 with the sharpen the mind, which would not be enough to break if Nostred chose to defend with both the Fortunist and the Alibi Artist, but most certainly Kirlis has something else up his sleeve. Does this deck run Call to War? We can take a look real quick, actually. No. It does not. And so, yeah. Effective Deception here for Nostred. So, it could be possible that he does not actually break with Ujiaki. Assassinate incoming. I can smell it. Alright, so no defense here. Fire Ring. Let's see. It could allow Nostred to go ahead and Fire Ring the Ujiaki to dishonor him, which would turn on I Can Swim also. We had a 5-1 bid this turn. And so we see calling in favors to to take the shot from the mind first. The prepared ambush goes down on this other province over here, so that's going to allow the Chronicler of Conquest to go ahead and gain an honor for Kirlis. Court Games here will dishonor one of the other characters. That's going to bring Kirlis down to 4, which is still enough to break. So seems maybe unnecessary. I wonder if Nostred is worried about getting honored add-on, and so he just wants to get the dishonor point here. He uses Kiriko to bow the Chronicler of Conquest. Alright, sure. So he loses an honor here. Kirlis is going to go ahead and honor back up this Chronicler of Conquest. Kirlis does have Noble Sack, and that, yeah, we're going to see it happen right here. So Alibi Artist has been killed. That puts Nostred down to 5 honor. And with Secret Cache already being triggered this turn, this gives a safe haven for Ujiaki to attack into and trigger his effect. We also know that Nostred now only has 1 fate, so he's going to attack this air ring to get the 2nd fate. Choosing this time to go ahead and go for City of the Rich Frog, which I think is probably a better idea. Something he should have done last time, I think. No, he's not going to go for the Fate, so not going for the Fate tells me that he doesn't have Display of Power in hand, which is unfortunate. He's been through half his Conflict deck and doesn't have it. So Kurlis going to defend with Ujiaki here. I guess that's fine too. You can go ahead and do the Zentaro restand here. And so I think what you want to do here is, this is a military conflict, so you just do double honor general. You said second frozen. Fortunas will give him the fate for DOP. Well, only if he wins the ring, which he's not going to do. So yeah, so we see the double honor generals come in. Pretty much no way the Nostred's gonna get that. Restand here. Still military conflict left. So it's gonna be attacked with Zentaro, probably into Secret Cache. I would imagine. I would hope so. I guess if Kurlis wants the scout, it's not the worst thing in the world here. Okay, Miyako gonna come out now. Probably, I mean, the only target is the honor general, so yeah. Staging ground does some flipperonis. Just reveals this one card over here, the Spirit Caller. And so Kurlis are gonna attack in air. One moment. Alright, I'm back. So, tactical ingenuity here. We'll put Kurlis at 6 to 3. Kurlis gets a noble sacrifice here. I don't know if he has a way to dishonor this this Venerable Fortunas, but it'd be pretty nice if you could noble sack this Zentaro into it. Alright, so Bonsai comes out now. Bonsai not kicked, actually, so that, but still enough to break as is. If Nostred has any kind of dishonor effect, yeah, he's going to go ahead and play that. -1 honor to remove the honor token from Zentaro. I guess it looks like Kurlis must have some kind of cancel because he's not reacting to this yet. I know. Yeah, so there's the voice, so that's going to cancel that, but the honor loss still happens. Bonsai now for Nostred. He's playing with fire here a little bit because he's going to put himself down to 2 honor. Sharpen the Mind going to come out now on the Zentaro. So discarding anything here will be enough pump to break this province. Discards Noble Sack. That's probably fine. And yeah, so Kirlis is going to gain an honor here. Nostred's going to lose an honor. And yeah, Kirlis opting to go ahead and go for the DH route. I think it's probably a little more effective than taking 2 honor there. You're still, you would still be 5 honor away from getting to your win condition, but it's definitely a lot closer to have your opponent at 2. This also makes it a little bit tough for your opponent to buy something like Shoju, because that's going to, you know, keep him down to 2 the entire time. Otherwise, he can just use the box to keep himself afloat. But still 2 breaks for Kirlis here. I think that's pretty good. Nostred, on the other hand, does not really have a board. Ujiaki's still going to be here for Kirlis with the favor still. And you see a Spirit Caller here also. So let's do some math here, I guess. Can Kirlis honor out? He's going to leave this turn at 19. He'll go down to 18 because of City of the Open Hand. But in his discard, he has 1 Chronicler and 2 Honored Generals. I think if I'm Kirlis here, I go ahead and discard these 2 guys. You leave the Hollow Victories there. Shoju does shut down Ujiaki, yes, that is true. There he is. One thing, though, is that, you know, Nostred only has 7 fate, so yeah, and this purchase of the Blackmail Artist tells me that he's not willing to take the risk with Shoju. Meanwhile, for Kirlis, he represents 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so two extra honor here. That'll put him to 20 with these 2 tokens, assuming that Nostred can't get rid of him in some way. And in the bin, he has 1 that he can get back. 1 guaranteed honor, at least. And these 2 guys are less guaranteed. So, not enough to honor out here, but I think he could take the dishonor angle. I think if he had flipped it to Turi, we would be, you know, in a different situation here. And it's definitely still possible. Kirlis didn't buy anything. He just bought the Historian, and that was it. Will he be swinging at the Keeper Province for a prepared ambush? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible. You know, if he was planning on doing that in the first place, then he didn't need to buy the Historian. He could have just bought nothing. Although, I guess... Well, no, because Nostred was first player, so there's still the chance that Nostred could still get the passing fate by just buying the Blackmail Artist and then passing. So... You know, the avenue is definitely open for him there. Maybe he just wanted to see what Nostred was going to do, and he just decided that the rest of these guys aren't going to be worth it, and you can just buy them. You can just either get them from Ujiaki, or you can get them from, you know, attacking and then using Spirit Caller or something like that. But has enough bodies to start a conflict. Well, he had enough bodies beforehand. He had Ujiaki and the Keeper. Can't defend against a Ring of Water then with just 2. Yeah, but, I mean, how much do you really care about defending right now? I think as Kirlis right now, you're in a pretty commanding position, right? Where there's no way in hell that your opponent is going to dishonor you, most likely. Oh. Alright, sorry about that. I'm getting a lot of calls today for basically no reason. Alright, so we're going to see the Vice Proprietor come in, bow this Bushido Adherent. So Ujiaku is used here to bring in Spirit Caller and Bushido Adherent. You can use the Zentara here to restand this Adherent. We're going to Spirit Call this Honor General. He's going to be honored. If Kirlis wins this conflict, actually, he's going to be at 21 honor, possibly 22, depending on how he decides to use this adherent. So he's actually reasonably close to honoring out here. So yeah, there's the Bushido adherent being used. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for Nostred to actually win this conflict. So yeah, he's going to pass here. So double hollow victories here. With the Honor General puts Kirlis up to 21. Bushido adherent is a 22. Once he leaves play, we're going to see the Zentaro come in on top of him for free. And so still on the table for Kirlis right now is the Air Ring. Fire Ring also. The Venerable Historian can also honor herself. That puts her up to 22, or sorry, 23, including the Zentaro. Military Air Ring here. Now we could finally see the display of power. That would be lovely, of course. I'm sure that Kirlis is on more than one voice. We only saw, oh no, we saw two of them are gone now. And no defense at effective deception. I think I'm Kirlis. I go ahead and use the message runner You can buy her into the conflict and see if there's something else that you would want to buy from your row. You know, this. I think to me tells me that Nostred is going to DOP this. So I wouldn't bank on winning this air ring to win the game. Now another reason that Kirlis could be sitting on 8 Fate also is that he could have the Festival of the Fortunes. Even with DOP, I think Kirlis wins this turn. Yeah, I think so. He could potentially just break, right? He still has another attack left. It's a political attack with the Uchiaki and the Venerable Historian, which is 9 skill. Interesting, I guess, that we didn't see effective deception on the in-service. It's always a weird thing to cancel, right? Like, you never want to cancel in-service because it just goes back in the bin. But in some situations, it might actually be good to do it, just because it denies a restand right here, right? So, like, if you went to do it again, you would have to bow the Venerable Historian. And that's less stats for Kirlis to use. And yeah, there's a Taturi that's in the row now. So, I mean, if Kirlis wants to chance it, he can go ahead and buy the Taturi into this conflict. It wouldn't be worth it, obviously, because of the fact that if DOP happens, then, you know, it just doesn't go off. Now, Kirlis right now just mulling over whether or not he wants to take the risk to just win the game. Kirlis saying I still get 4. No, that doesn't happen because you don't get the ring from Taturi. But you are going to get 2 honor here. So let's see how bold he is. Is he gonna hard buy the Taturi into this conflict? Okay, yeah, so he's going to pass. Just play it safe. I mean, you're in such a good position right now that you don't need to take some unnecessary risk like that. There's the DOP. Yeah, no extra voice here. DOP happens. I mean, honestly, really not the worst thing in the world. This still puts Kirlis at 22 honor. And if he wins another conflict here, then he can be at 24. With Zentara leaving, it's going to be 25. He can also honor out the Venerable Historian to put it at an extra point of honor there. Can I mouse over Taturi? Yes, I can. So the reason that he wouldn't work in this situation is, as he says, after you claim a ring during a military conflict. So whenever you get Display of Powered, your opponent claims the ring instead, so you can't actually trigger his ability. So that's the reason that he couldn't buy Taturi there. Yeah, it's claim, not win. So that's the downside of Taturi, I guess. But you know, I think that with the rules change to make him work on defense, I think that he's definitely very good now. So here's an attack at City of the Rich Frog. Attacking military, actually kind of bold here. Because now I think Kirlis just wins. So I mean, you attack here. These Hall of Victories are unlimited, so yeah, pass, and that means Krell's going to go ahead and take it on Honor Victory here. The Hall of Victories will give him 2 honor, and then the Honor General is going to leave, and Krellis wins the game. So honored out. Like I said, not impossible, but I think at that point in time, Nostred was so far behind that it was just pretty impossible for him to do anything. He was on his back foot the whole time. Yeah, Nostred saying he has a handful of BHCs and Censures. You won turn 2 when I had to bid 5. Yeah, and that's why I recommended, I think, buying that Master Whisper early. There's a lot of cards that can become very dead in this matchup because of the fact that you're not actually going to dishonor the other player. So you want to have stuff that's more proactive if you can. So congratulations to Kirlis. He's going to go ahead and move ahead into the top 16. I don't know who his opponent is. I have not seen the bracket, but I'm sure at some point in time we will get to see them again. Hall of Victories, very strong card in these honor decks. Serious saying Honor Line is such a terrible matchup for City of the Open Hand DOP. I think it is pretty bad. Yeah, I mean you lose your main win condition, right? I think it was not this good beforehand. Whenever you guys had Forge Edict still. I think Edicts and or a Fate Worse Than Death both kind of changed the dynamic of how this matchup worked. And now that they're both gone, it does become a lot harder for Scorpions to sort of sustain against this kind of deck. But congratulations to Kirlis again. I'm going to go ahead and close up the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll try to catch another game sometime later on today or later this week, depending on when they happen. Thank you guys for tuning in again.